friends, Mandy and Kristen here. Today we wanted to talk to you about myths regarding travel.
One of the most harmful misconceptions that I believe is out there today regarding travel is that women shouldn't travel alone and that it's unsafe to do so. Now, granted, there are still parts of the world where it is relatively unsafe to venture out as a woman on your own. However, there are a great number of places worldwide that it's easy and safe and accessible. The only thing really is to keep in mind that you want to be just as safe as you would at home. So for me, when I'm traveling around the United States, I'm still taking precautions. I'm listening to my intuition and only spending time in places that feel energetically and emotionally comfortable for me. If there's ever a situation that I'm uncomfortable in, I simply move on or don't stay in that location. Of course, you want to plan things ahead, make sure that you have a safe place to stay before you get there. Ask people that have been to the place that you're going already and find out what their experience has been like. Additionally, as someone who has spent a lot of time traveling alone, primarily in the United States, I will say that there is an element of spiritual growth and personal connectivity that one experiences when they're traveling alone, relying solely on you and your own person to make decisions, get through situations, and decide where you're going to go or what you're going to do. It's empowering and it's enlightening, and the fear that might be associated with that at first ends up creating more growth and more passion, and it truly is a unique experience.
So if you're a vegan, you know by now, even if you're going hiking for the day, or if you're going into a town that you've never been to before, or even if you live in a city or a town where there's not many vegan options, you have to be prepared. I make sure that when I'm traveling, even if I'm traveling to a well-known vegan-friendly place, I still pack at least 3 meals, and they can be like small meals like Cliff Bars or nuts or almond butter or whatever, things that don't perish very easily. You're always able to find vegan meals at restaurants. Usually they'll have at least a side salad. It's better than nothing. You can always stop at a convenience store and get granola bars or Cliff Bars or nuts. You can make it work. It might not be a completely well-rounded meal every single meal, but you're definitely not going to die. So I always bring food on the plane when I'm traveling. I usually bring a lot of food on the plane, almost like a whole bag of food. Just always make sure you're prepared.
Another thing I often hear is, I would love to do that or to travel or to do what you do, but I have kids or a spouse or I'm just too old now. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are families that travel full-time together. I stumbled upon a lot of YouTubers and bloggers of families, sometimes as big as 6. I know a couple in Australia right now that's traveling around in a big RV bus with their children, and their goal is to spread the word about food awareness and healthy living. And so there is definitely a way to do this. You do not have to be in your 20s, you do not have to be child-free, and you do not have to be single. If your spouse is not interested in that kind of lifestyle, then you might just have to coordinate when you want to go on your solo adventure, or when your kids are old enough, taking them on a journey with you around the world or whatever it might be. But I'm a firm believer that if you really do want to go after some kind of big travel goal, whether you're taking your family with you or going on mini solo trips, there's absolutely a way to make it happen.
And our last myth is that travel can be expensive, and I totally think that's true. I think it can be expensive. It can be really expensive if you want it to be, and it can also be really cheap if you want it to be. Decide on where you want to be uncomfortable. Decide that you're okay trading work for housing, and that you're okay staying at a hostel or an Airbnb or house sitting for someone. You're okay just not traveling luxuriously, doing it to be immersed in culture. You can also couch surf, you can stay with friends, you can stay at hostels, you can live in your van like Kristen did. You can make your own food, you can eat at cheap markets, you can exchange work for food. And there's also a thing called travel hacking, and it's where you take credit cards that give you points for travel for purchases, and they have a lot of incentive programs, so pretty much you're just exploiting their incentive programs, which is totally fine because they're credit card companies. You're not putting yourself into a ton of debt in order to get points. It's just a very strategic way of traveling for cheap.
I encourage you to create a lifestyle as designed by you, by the things that matter most to you. And if travel is a part of that, then please, by all means, go make it happen for yourself. This is submission video 3 of 4 from Mandi and Kristin for the Around the World contest through vegantravel.com.